Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. Okay, so today let's have a look at the mind map on excretory system. So it is like you can study whole of a thing in a short. This is the whole chapter. One second. So let me just check if I'm audible. Yeah, all right. Okay, so before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I am an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 10 biology. Okay, and the Telegram channel of Unacademy, ICSE and ISC boards. So you can follow this link. So basically you will find this link in the description box. So you can click on the link and join the Telegram channel there. Okay. Also we conduct special classes on Unacademy platform. Learn from your favorite educators for free. Engage with the educators via polls. Then clear your doubts in the live special classes. Okay. So there is a doubt clearing option that is available. So you can clear your doubts there. Hi Anubhav, good evening. So for the top special classes, you can visit the link that is there in the description. Okay. So Unacademy subscription features, you can learn live from the comfort of your home, unlimited access to all the courses. So different educators will come up with the different courses. So you will have access to all of those courses once you take the subscription. Then top educators of India are going to take the class in one platform, that is Unacademy platform. Then regular doubt clearing session. So after about every 3 sessions, the 4th session will be doubt clearing session. So any doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubts in this doubt clearing session. Then complete syllabus will be covered, mentorship and guidance will be given, study material is given, practice test is given, live test series are given, the batch courses. So if you prefer to learn in English or if you prefer to learn in Hindi or English, so you will have access to all of those batches. Okay. Hi Alok, hi Akshay, good evening. Okay, so there is daily practice section also, weekly mock test series also, live quizzes, then daily MCQ and subjective test series also. So if you are planning to take the subscription, you can use my referral code VANIYT. So with this referral code, you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription. So you can try with this. So since you are in class 9, so you, class 10, so you can try with 3-month subscription if you are planning. So those who are just entering class 10, so you can go with the 12-month subscription also. Okay, so now depending on your convenience, you can go for any month. And this is basically VANIYT is my code. So when you use this code, you will be getting 10% discount. Okay, so let's get started with the mind map on excretory system. Okay, so yes, I'll just give this. All right, so this mind map is taken from the Oswal ICSE mind maps, biology class 10. Okay, so you can see this is the excretory system. So I have just highlighted this part also, so you can see this. It's not the main one, so I'll just explain all of it in detail. Okay, so what all comes under a excretory system? Yes, any idea what all comes under a excretory system? Mind mapping, when we mention, all of these are coming in one place. Okay, that is you can remember all the contents of this particular excretory system in one place. So if you remember the flow, what is that, what all are the process, you can easily remember the whole chapter in just one slide. So as you can see this one, so what all are the related processes? So excretion is there, so there is a definition, then excretory substance is given here. Hello, I'm Samriddhi. Hi Samriddhi. ureter, urethra, parts of the nephron. Yes, so we will study all that in detail. Okay, so I'll just explain it in by cropping. So I have already cropped the image and I have added. So I can send you this PDF also. Okay, so this PDF you can uh, Vani Kari. Okay, this is my Telegram channel, Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10. Okay, so you can search it in Telegram. So this is ICSE class. Okay, so ICSE class 9 and 10. So this PDF I'll send it there. Okay, so let's get started. So let's have a look at what exactly does this excretory system. So what all we are studying mainly here. So mainly the excretion, the definition, what all are the excretory substances that are there, and the osmoregulation part. Okay, so what exactly is osmoregulation, how exactly osmoregulation happens, what is the procedure that happens in order to maintain the same concentration of a blood. Okay, so we will also study about the different excretory organs that are there. Okay, and then we will see the urine. So what exactly is the urine constituent, the physical property. Okay, regulation, so you know how hormonal regulation will occur, what is the abnormal condition, so if there is a urination is occurring and associated with that if a blood is coming. Okay, so why it is happening, so what all are the abnormal conditions with respect to urinary system or excretory system, so that we will see. And you know a lot of people we have seen, like you know basically one kidney might not be working, so there are both the kidneys might not be working, so only with the one kidney they can manage whole of a process. If both the kidneys are failed, so in that case a artificial kidney, so that is a dialysis process can be run. So this also we will see. Okay, so what all happens in this. Okay, so all right, dialysis, yes, it is dialysis. Startup, so it is just about the microgreens I grow. Okay, yes, so we will start with this. So this is the first part. So let's see what exactly is the definition, excretion. Okay, so what is the definition of excretion? Yes, anybody? What is the definition of excretion that you need to write, since you have a subjective this time. Okay, so they can ask you the definition of excretion, then you know they can also ask you the definition with respect to the ultrafiltration process, reabsorption, tubular secretion, what is selective absorption. Okay, so all that you need to know. iPhone, mine is iPhone, not at all. So you can see my phone, it is not at all iPhone one. Okay, anyway, so excretion, when we mention definition here is, it is the, yes, anybody has mentioned? No? Okay. So basically it is the process of removal of chemical waste from the body. Okay. So what all are the chemical waste? When we mention, it is basically the nitrogenous waste. What is the nitrogenous waste that is produced? Can you name any of the nitrogenous waste, or three nitrogenous waste? What are they? Can you name them? So these are the harmful of removal of a harmful waste. Yes. So what are those harmful waste or a nitrogenous waste? The naming, I'm just asking, what do we call them? So there is a particular three of them. Yes, very good. Urea is one. Very good, Rahul. Yes, other than that, so basically urea removal will be done. Then along with that, so you know mainly we humans remove the urea. Okay, so we cannot get rid of the ammonia, because to dissolve ammonia lot of amount of water is required, which is, you know, we do not drink so much water. Okay, so ammonia we cannot remove. So basically we are removing a nitrogenous waste in the form of a urea. So where exactly urea formation, lot of time this question has come. Okay, so where exactly urea formation occurs? Any idea on this one? Yes, very good. So it is uric acid is also one of the nitrogenous waste. Okay, so urea, uric acid and ammonia, so these are the nitrogenous waste that are produced. Okay, so you know these nitrogenous waste that we get rid of. So where exactly urea is produced? urea is produced in the liver. Okay, so yes, lot of them write kidney. Okay, so a lot of them get confused. Urea removal is done through the kidney, but the production of the urea occurs in the liver. Okay, so any amount, so let's say you are consuming excess amount of amino acid, that is proteins. Okay, so whenever you are consuming a excess amount of protein, so this protein will be broken down, and that is basically a simple compound amino acid is formed. And we know that protein is not stored in our body. Okay, so we do not store protein. Whatever amount of protein that you are consuming, we always get rid of this. So whatever you are consuming, so whatever is required, so like let's say some amount of protein is required by your body for the functioning. Okay, so that protein will be used up. Anything extra amount of protein that you have consumed, so all that will be removed out of the body, where the amino acid will be further broken into urea. So that is in the liver this will happen. Okay, so urea formation will occur in the liver. Then through the blood, that is through the circulatory system, the blood which is actually a impure blood because it is having a urea, then it will be taken to the kidney. Through the kidney, the removal of the urea will be done. Okay, so this one here is the excretory substances are basically the carbon dioxide, so that is through the lung we remove. The nitrogenous metabolic waste. So what is the nitrogenous metabolic waste? So these are the nitrogenous metabolic waste, which are basically we obtain them from a protein. Okay, so whenever we consume excess amount of protein, so all that will be converted into any of these forms. Okay, then excess salt. So let's say you have consumed lot of if we are mainly talking about the junk food, so let's say you are consuming Lays, or maybe you are watching a movie and eating a popcorn, so too much of a salt content will be there. So whenever you are consuming lot of salt, so that excess amount of salt or maybe a vitamin, okay, so all that will be thrown out of the body, so that is through the urine itself. Then water also. So as you drink lots and lots of water, so we can also say that the detox drink, right? So you might have heard lot of celebrities usually using detox drink. So it is nothing but more of a water, and some herbs they can add, or maybe some lime juice they can add. So basically it will clear your body. So with more and more water, whatever toxic compound is there in the body, so all that toxic compound can be removed. So that is a detox one. Okay, next the bile pigments. So bile pigments, any idea on this one, how exactly bile pigment removal is done? I'm really interested in biotechnology. Yes, there is actually. Okay, but more you can get into the research field, or maybe you can also get into the industries. Like we have now in Bangalore, we have a biocon, so more of an insulin production occurs. So there is a scope depending on how you are performing. Since it is the biotechnology is one such field, it actually never goes so high, or it never goes so down also. So now as the pandemic also has occurred, so a lot of progress is there in biotechnology field mainly. So there is a scope. Only thing is that if you are doing a very good research, so you will get a benefit of this one. Okay, so it is completely depending on you how exactly you are carrying out a work. Okay, so then bile pigments. So now with respect to bile pigments, when we mention further breakdowns, there is bile pigment called as bilirubin is there, biliverdin is there. So let me just erase this, just a second. Okay, so there is a bile pigment called as bilirubin, biliverdin, or a bile juice when we mention. So further breakdown of a bile pigment will occur, and there is a formation of a urochrome. So yellow coloration to the urine So that is provided by the urochrome, not the bile pigment alone. Okay, so the further breakdown will occur, urochrome formation will occur, and that is providing a yellow coloration to the urine. Then water, so that is again the same thing. So this is with respect to respiratory product. So cellular respiration, you know, right? So glucose oxidation will occur. Okay, so by the oxidation of glucose there is ATP generated, then carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so this amount, excess amount of water, what is there? So this can be thrown out of the body in the form of water vapor. Okay, so water vapor. So if you are respiring, just hold your hand to your mouth. Okay, and you exhale. Okay, so you can feel some moisture onto your hand, or you can try it onto glass also. You can also write it there. Okay, so that is basically a moisture. So little amount of water which is generated from the respiratory system, so that will be going out of the body in the form of a vapor. Okay, so all these are the excretory substances which are there. Now moving on to the regulation of the osmotic pressure of the blood, you know, all these levels have to be maintained. So before that, let's see some of them excretory organs that are there. Okay, and the excretory substances. So you know, through the lung it is carbon dioxide that we remove. Okay, so that is as a gas is expired in. So basically, you know, expired air will have more of a carbon dioxide. Okay, now mineral salts or nitrogenous waste, the products such as mainly the urea, creatinine, uric acid, so all these can be removed with the help of a kidney. Okay, and it can be removed through the skin. So you know, this is mainly through the sweating. So sweat formation will occur, and as the sweat production occurs, so some amount, a little, like, you know, in traces, so in trace amount we can find the urea. So that urea can also be removed, so that is through the sweating, but it is very less. So mainly it is given in your textbook also. We usually do not consider skin as the excretory organ, because the sweat production will occur, that is to cool down your body. So now it is a summer. Okay, so there is too hot, the sun is there. Okay, so temperature is too hot, you know, our body requires a certain temperature to be maintained, because we are all hot blooded animals, we are all warm blooded animals, and we need to maintain the same body temperature, right, for all the processes to occur. So that is why, you know, this temperature is not suitable, so cooling has to occur. So in that case, the sweat production will occur. So whenever sweat production is occurring, a little amount of urea is passed. Okay, now other than that, water. So water can be removed through the kidneys, water can be removed through the skin, water can be removed through the lungs. So there are three ways for a water to go. Okay, kidney, that is mainly in the form of a urine. Skin, when we mention, it is in the form of a sweat. Then, you know, lungs, when we mention, the water is lost in the form of a vapor. So I just now said, so you can feel that moisture onto your hands. So whenever you are exhaling, okay, so you can feel the moisture onto your hands. So that is basically the respiratory product. What is there? Cellular respiration when it occurs. So this respiratory product is given out through the lung itself. Okay, so water is lost as a water vapor in the expired air. Now bile pigments, any idea on what exactly is bile pigment, how exactly it is generated? Good evening, Adarsh. Any idea how exactly bile pigment formation occurs? What is the breakdown product? How exactly this is being formed? So here anyway it is written. Okay, but still, why exactly hemoglobin is breaking? Any idea on this one? Why there is a requirement of this hemoglobin to break down? Okay, I'll mention this. Okay, so you know, basically the hemoglobin is getting broken down, you know, as the RBCs are there. So RBC lifespan is how much? it is just 120 days is the lifespan of the RBC. Okay, so after this 120 days is done, okay, so this RBC is going to the spleen, okay, and in the spleen basically the RBC will be further processed. The dead RBC is basically further processed and it will be taken to the liver. So basically the hemoglobin will be taken to the liver from the spleen, okay, and then this hemoglobin is further breaking down and there is a formation of bilirubin, okay, and then there is biliverdin. So these are the bile pigments or the bile juice formation what we see. So that is mainly happening because of the breakdown product of the hemoglobin. So this hemoglobin will break down and this itself we call as the bile juice. Okay, so further breakdown of a bile juice when we occur, so that is basically giving us the urochrome. Okay, so now in the liver itself this is happening. So through the intestine the bile juice is reaching the duodenum part. So this you have already studied, where the digestion, so basically emulsification of a fat will occur. Okay, so let's have a look at the other process here. Okay, so now this is the process that we have with respect to excretory organs. So we saw what exactly does the lung does, what does the kidney do. So sweat glands also we discussed. Let's have a look at the kidneys. What is the Bowman's capsule and what exactly it is made up of, nephron when we talk of, and what is the function of this kidney. The Bowman's capsule when we mention how efficient it is to carry out the different functions, and what are the parts that are associated with the nephron here. So let's study this. Okay, and for production of urine these are the three processes. Yes, can anybody mention what is ultrafiltration process? Bilirubin is a bile pigment from the duodenum. So basically for emulsification, yes, that's right. So bile pigment when we mention, or a bile juice when we mention, so it will have the one second. So it will have mainly the bilirubin and the biliverdin pigment. So that will help in the providing a yellow coloration to the stool, and the main work of this bile juice is to emulsify the fat. Okay, all right, so any idea on this one? What exactly is the function of what exactly is ultrafiltration, reabsorption, or tubular secretion? So these are the three processes that happen whenever we say that the process ultrafiltration is occurring. Okay, so I'll just explain that. So let's have a look at the kidney is composed of enormous number of minute tubules. So I'll just draw it and explain, just a second. Okay, so now there is a Bowman's capsule. Okay, so this is a Bowman's capsule. Okay, and this Bowman's capsule is having, mainly it will continue down, and there we can find a PCT. So any idea why do we call it as a proximal convoluted tubule? You should know this name. Okay, so why do we call this as a proximal convoluted tubule? Why do we call the other part, so this one, as a distal convoluted tubule? Any idea on this one? So why is it PCT? Why is it DCT? So what is the meaning? In that name only you can mention why we call it as a PCT and a DCT. Okay, so now this is a nephron having this particular PCT here, and this one is a DCT. Okay, so this is Henle's loop. Okay, so this one is Henle's loop. Then you can see this one is a Bowman's capsule. Okay, so this is a Bowman's capsule. Ultrafiltration, yes, so the process of filtration of the blood under very high pressure, because of efferent arteriole are narrower than the efferent arteriole. Yes, very good, Rishabh. So basically higher hydrostatic pressure is developed as the volume is changing there. So let me just show you this, like you already said. So that's right. Okay, so there is a afferent arteriole is having a wider diameter. Then here the capillary formation we can see. Okay, so this particular capillary, when we mention capillary, it will always have a narrow diameter, and the efferent arteriole also you need to show the narrow diameter itself. Here the capillary formation we can see, so many capillaries capillaries are formed here. So this is completely a capillary formation. So this we call as a glomerulus. So this is now a glomerulus. Okay, and as you can see, the volume is decreasing. Okay, so for the flow of a blood, the volume is decreasing. Okay, so whenever volume decreases, there is a pressure that increases. Okay, so pressure is increasing and volume is decreasing because here there is a wider diameter or a wider lumen, and here narrow lumen is there. Okay, and here also we can find a narrow lumen itself. So as they are inversely proportional, so there is a higher hydrostatic pressure that is generated. Okay, so as the higher hydrostatic pressure is generated at this point, okay, so most of the blood that is flowing through this part, as it reaches here, so all the liquid part, so let me just show it. The liquid part is basically more of a content is basically water, glucose, some excess salts, what are there, so all that will get filtered here. So it is mainly this glomerular filtrate. Most of the liquid part of a blood will get filtered here into this Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule is like a cup which receives this filter. Okay, that is filtrate. So now this is a filter. The glomerulus is a filter which is filtering the blood, and the cup, the Bowman's capsule, is like a cup which is taking this filtrate. Okay, so now this liquid which is there, so this we call as a glomerular filtrate. Okay, so this is called as a glomerular filtrate. Yes, yes, can anybody mention what do we call these two together? Okay, so glomerulus along with the Bowman's capsule, what is the name? Yes, so ultrafiltration is done in the Bowman's capsule. Yes, so proximal is known because it's close. Very good, it is close or nearer to the Bowman's capsule. Distal means it is far apart. Yes, that's right. Yes, so proximal is, we are referring here to the Bowman's capsule. So this convoluted tubule, so this tubes what you see here, so this tubule is nearer to the Bowman's capsule. So we are keeping a reference of Bowman's capsule, and then this is named with reference to the Bowman's capsule. Again, the name is given here. So this is at a distant, so distant convoluted tubule or a distal convoluted tubule, and this one is a proximal convoluted tubule. Okay. Yes, very good. So it is a Malfigian capsule. Okay, so this is now called as a Malfigian capsule. Yes, you can write here the alternate names for a nephron. You go on typing. Okay, so what are the alternate names? Because it is very important to know each and every alternate names that are mentioned in your textbook. They can ask nephron also, they can give many other names what they have mentioned, so it might be confusing. So you should not keep on thinking that what exactly is this one. So what is the alternate names that are given in your textbook for a nephron? You can go on typing. Okay, so now this one, anyway, here it is a Malfigian capsule. Okay, so this is a Malfigian capsule. All right, so let's see this process. So this process which is happening here at the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, the process is called as ultrafiltration. So I'll just write it here itself. Here the ultrafiltration process occurs. So basically the blood is getting filtered there under the higher hydrostatic pressure as the diameter or as the lumen is narrower in case of efferent arteriole as compared to the afferent arteriole. Now what will happen? This is further. All the liquid part is actually, it is filtered out in the Bowman's capsule. But the blood which is flowing through this part, that is efferent arteriole, so the blood is actually thicker. Okay, so here the blood which is leaving through the efferent arteriole, so that is thicker. So we don't want the blood to be thicker. So we want to maintain the normal concentration of a blood. So what will happen? Whatever excess amount of blood that was filtered, okay, that is the liquid which was filtered, so all that has to get reabsorbed. because we need to maintain the same concentration of a blood now. So we don't want to get rid of all the water, because we don't want this blood to have a thicker concentration. So in that case, normal concentration of a blood has to be maintained. Whatever excess amount of water is there, so that has to be removed. So excess amount anyway is going, and here basically this will come down here, the afferent arteriole. So this is further dividing around this particular structure, that is around the PCT. Okay, so it is forming a secondary set of capillary, and again all of these are joining. Okay, so then there is further division that we can see. So there is a formation of again a secondary set of capillary formation we can see around this structure. Okay, so there is a secondary set of capillary again, so again these are joining. So there is again a division that we can see. So this is the secondary set of capillary formation we can see in here. Okay, so now in this case it is through these capillary itself. So these are the secondary set of capillaries. Okay, so this I'll just write it as a secondary capillaries. Okay, so these capillaries where absorption will occur. So any excess amount of water is there. One second, I'll write this. Okay, so excess amount of water if it is there, so that water will get reabsorbed. Okay, so maximum reabsorption will occur over here itself, that is at the PCT. Okay, so maximum amount of water, maximum amount of glucose, so all that will get reabsorbed here at the PCT. So minimum amount of absorption will occur here also in the Henle's loop, and some amount of reabsorption will occur here in the DCT also. Okay, but it is very less over here, so less reabsorption will occur. Okay, and here it is the maximum reabsorption. Okay, and here it is medium, like not so much more, not so less. So medium amount of reabsorption we can see. So water is getting reabsorbed, glucose is getting reabsorbed, and whatever required amount of vitamin is there, or maybe a salt if it is there, required amount only, so all that will get reabsorbed. And now when we mention about a reabsorption process, okay, so yes, nobody knows what is the alternate name that is given in your textbook for a nephron. One second. So Rishabh also doesn't know what is the alternate names that are given for a nephron. So you all should know. Okay, so even if you are not typing here, so that is fine, but make sure that you know each and every name that is mentioned. Okay, so now the reabsorption process when we mention, so that we call as a selective reabsorption also. So why do we call it as a selective reabsorption process? That is because only the required amount of water, glucose will get absorbed, not all the water will get reabsorbed. Okay, so if all the water is getting reabsorbed, there is no urine formation. Urine also has to be formed. So excess amount of water, what is there, so that will be going out of the body as a urine, and there is whatever required amount of water which is to be maintained in order to maintain the same concentration of a blood. Okay, so whatever amount of water or a glucose is required, so only that amount will get reabsorbed. So that we call as a selective reabsorption. Okay, so after the selective reabsorption is done, so all of these are going to join together. So this is basically joining the renal way. So I can just show it in blue color, because this will be having a deoxygenated one. So now this is joining to the renal vein. So this will be joining the renal vein here. Okay, so now here one more structure that I haven't drawn. So there is a collecting duct also that is present. So now this one over here is a collecting duct. So after this particular ultrafiltration, selective reabsorption occurs, here the DCT, what is there, so there are cells here. Okay, so distal convoluted tubule is having certain cell. So let's say you are taking any medication, so excess amount of medication is there, excess amount of hormone is there, excess amount of any unwanted things what are there, so all those are basically being secreted here in the DCT. So it is the DCT where tubular secretion will occur. Okay, so tubular secretion, is nothing but excess amount of medication, drugs what you are consuming. So all that excess amount will be secreted here. So this will be joining the forming urine. So only after the DCT, only after the tubular secretion process, now the fluid that is entering the collecting duct, so that we call as a urine. Until then we call it as a glomerular filtrate itself. Okay, so only after the tubular secretion process is done, we call it as a urine, which is actually collected into the collecting duct. Okay, so this is the process which is there. So we saw all these parts, that is PCT, DCT, Henley's loop, ultrafiltration process, reabsorption and tubular secretion. Any doubt in this? Yes, so renal tubule, okay, you know. So renal tubule, kidney tubule, yes, Rishabh Isha also has answered. Uriniferous tubule, okay, yes, very good. It is uriniferous tubule. So renal tubule, kidney tubule, nephron, uriniferous tubule also we can call it. Okay, so remember, like all the alternate names are very important. So same with respect to yellow spot in the eye also. So fovea centralis, macula lutea, okay, and yellow spot. So different names what are given. So remember all those alternate names. Okay, so let's get with this one. Okay, so what exactly happens in what part of a nephron? So let's have a look at this one now. Just a second. Okay, so now part of a renal tubule, so there is a glomerulus. So glomerulus is where ultrafiltration is occurring, because there is a glomerulus. Okay, so this is a capillary, a narrow capillary is there. So it is because of this narrow capillary itself, the fluid part will flow down. Okay, so it is the glomerulus part where the ultrafiltration process occurs. Now the Bowman's capsule, a cup like structure which is present, so that will receive the filtrate, that is a liquid portion which is coming down. So that will be received by this cup like portion, so that is the Bowman's capsule. This will receive a glomerular filtrate. So PCT, you need to know this, proximal convoluted tubule, what exactly happens then? Reabsorption of maximum, so this is very important. Okay, so maximum amount of water, about 2/3 amount of water is being reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule itself. Okay, and then much of a glucose, the sodium, that is a salt. Okay, so salt, the chloride ion, or maybe a sodium, so all that maximum amount, what is this? So all that is being reabsorbed here in the PCT. So what is the main function we can say with respect to PCT? It is a reabsorption. Maximum reabsorption occurs in the PCT. Then loop of Henle, what is happening? So some reabsorption, okay, so some absorption of water is occurring, and also sodium ions are being absorbed. Then distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so in distal convoluted tubule, reabsorption also occurs, because there is very minimum amount of reabsorption that can occur. Okay, so reabsorption of remaining chlorides and some amount of water. Then you know walls, that is the DCT wall. So this one is a DCT now. Okay, so wall of a DCT will have many cells. So there are cuboidal epithelial cells will be there. Okay, so these cuboidal epithelial cells are the ones that secrete the foreign chemicals, such as, so now you are taking a drugs, that is medicine when you are consuming. So let's say one might be having any bacterial infection, so there is a tooth decay, or let's say you are having any bacterial infection anywhere in the body. So usually penicillin is suggested, okay, which is extracted from a fungi. You know, if such a drug that you are consuming, so you know excess amount of whatever is there, so that will be secreted through this DCT, and it will be joining the forming urine. Okay, so now this forming urine will join this collecting duct over here, and then you know only after the DCT process, that is tubular secretion process, we can call it as a urine. So other drugs into the forming urine. Yes, any doubt? Is this clear? So I'll go with the next one if this is clear. All right. So now you know the urine. Okay, so what exactly comes under this one? The urine, when we mention the abnormal constituents, we will have to look. Okay, then regulation. So how exactly regulation is done with respect to urine, that we need to look. Okay, then you know normal constituents of the urine. So what exactly will be there? The physical properties is important. The act of passing a urine, so this definition is given, and lot of times they have asked this definition also, what exactly is micturition. So make sure that you know what is the definition of micturition. So it is the act of passing a urine, so that is the micturition or urination in general. Okay, so physical properties of a urine. So this is yellow in color. What is the reason for yellow coloration of the urine? I just now said. So remember which is the pigment for yellow coloration of a urine. You can type in. Okay, so then how much of urine formation will occur on a daily basis? So this is about 1 to 1.5 liters per day. Then the pH of a urine, yes, very good, Rishabh. So this is urochrome pigment. Okay, so urochrome is a pigment that is responsible, which is for the yellow coloration, and urochrome that we obtain from the bile pigment. So further breakdown of a bile pigment will occur and urochrome formation will occur. Yes, very good, Isha. Okay, so now you know the pH. So this is because of the urea. Urea is acidic in nature. So you know the variation can be there depending on the amount of urea or uric acid that is present. So about 5 to 8 is the pH variation. So 7 is the neutral pH. Anything below 7 we say that it is acidic nature. Anything above 7, so that we call it is a basic one. So here there is a variation. Now ammonia like smell is whenever you observe, you know, like pungent smell or some ammonia like smell in the urine, so that means that one is having a bacterial infection in their urinary tract. So bacteria might be growing in the kidney, bacteria might be growing in the ureter, bacteria might be growing in the urinary bladder or just the urethra. Okay, so whenever you find there is a ammonia like smell, so you can get it checked. Okay, so this is about the physical properties. Now what all will be there? So this one you need not remember as such. Okay, so just know what all will be there. So there is a urea, creatinine, uric acid can be there, other compounds, you know, like excess amount of glucose might be there. So those who are having a diabetes, so in that in them glucose can be there. Okay, so or there might be excess amount of salt, excess amount of vitamins can be there. So in inorganic they have already mentioned, so sodium chloride, potassium chloride, ammonia. So you know ammonia like smell can be because of a bacteria. So if you feel that there is something abnormal about the urine, then in that case it can be because of the bacterial activity or a fungal activity. So you might have heard about the candida. Okay, so candida is one such fungi. Okay, so that will mainly, you know, the genital, so genital tract is being affected, so it will mainly enter through the genital area itself. So in that case also you can see more of a whitish fluid discharge from the vagina. Okay, so in all those cases it is basically whenever you find such abnormal conditions other than the normal deviation, okay, other than the normal concentration, so if there is any deviation, so you always make sure that you are getting checked. Okay, so now this is, you know, abnormal condition also we will see. Okay, so this is with respect to abnormal condition. So if a blood cell is seen, okay, hematuria we call. Okay, so hematuria, heme is basically related to blood. Heme is basically a iron group which is found in the RBC. Okay, so you know if RBCs or if you know blood cells, so there can be WBC. You might have noticed if there is any a bacterial activity which is occurring in your urinary tract. Usually you see this particular liquid, it is not clear liquid or not even a yellow liquid, so it is somewhat turbid, like it is more of a whitish color urine you will get. So because there is lot of WBCs are there, so there might be lot of bacteria that are there in the urine. So because of that, if you try to pass the light through this liquid, so usually the light cannot be passed, because there is completely the bacterial growth, the WBCs are completely forming a pus like structure, pus cells we call. Okay, so that is basically the WBCs are fighting the germs there. Then glucose, so if a glucose excess amount of is there, it can be diabetes. And if a albumin, so albumin is basically maintaining the blood concentration. Okay, so urine concentration or osmotic balance of the urine, so that is whatever amount of urea has to be there, whatever amount of water has to be there, so all that will be regulated by the albumin. Okay, so normal osmotic pressure maintenance will be done by the albumin protein. So if there is any variation, so it can be because of the albumin less content, or it can be higher content of albumin also. Now next is bile. Okay, so there is a chance that some cases when one is having a jaundice. Okay, so if one is having a jaundice or liver problem, if one is having, a lot of bile juice will be there. So there is a bile juice, not the urochrome, the bile juice itself can also enter, so it can also enter the urine, and yellowish urine. So mainly in case of jaundice, the skin coloration also turns to yellow. Okay, so skin coloration also gets yellowish, so that is mainly because of more of a yellow. So same way the bile can enter the urine as well, so that is again an abnormal condition. Now with respect to this one, antidiuretic hormone. Okay, so what exactly happens? So antidiuretic hormone ADH, which can also be called as a vasopressin. Okay, so this is responsible for maintaining the concentration of a urine. Okay, so if there is a hyposecretion of this ADH, so ADH is not being properly secreted, or less secretion is occurring, so in them there is a frequent urination that we can see. Okay, so it is also called as a water diabetes. Okay, or diabetes insipidus. So lot of diabetic individuals when we mention, so if you observe them, okay, so usually they go on urinating more and more, so that is because of the antidiuretic hormone is being, it is very less secretion is occurring, or there might be complete stoppage of a ADH hormone. So it is causing a condition called as water diabetes. The main symptom is frequent urination, which is also called as diabetes insipidus. Okay, so diabetes insipidus also can be called as. Okay, what is the difference between excretion and micturition? So micturition is completely associated with urine. Okay, so urine removal, so urination when we mention, so that can be micturition. Excretion can be any of the excretory organ where removal of unwanted thing is occurring. So let's say now through the kidney micturition is occurring, so that is excretion process. Through the lung the carbon dioxide is being removed, so that is also considered as a part of an excretory organ. So since lung is a excretory organ there, so carbon dioxide removal is also a excretion. Now sweating is also the same thing. Okay, so yes, so under secretion of vasopressin is the one that will lead to this particular condition, that is water diabetes. Okay, so let's have a look at the artificial kidney. So that is a dialysis process which is actually done by using a machine where they'll connect it to your lower arm. Okay, so in that case that machine will be given, and it is directly connected to your blood vessel. Okay, and through that blood vessel only all the impurities, so since all, like both the kidneys are not working, both the kidneys are failed. Okay, so only in that condition one can go for the artificial kidney. So that is basically a dialysis process where a machine is connected to your arm, and weekly twice one need to go. Okay, so weekly twice this is done, and it is done for 2 hours. Okay, so that is basically to get rid of the urea that is there. So what will happen if we do not remove the urea? Okay, so if this urea is remaining in the body itself, all the tissues, so let's say urea is here, so surrounding whatever tissues are there, so all of these are getting damaged, they cannot work anymore because urea is getting deposited, so it is blocking the pathway, and it is a toxic compound. So that is why we say that it is a toxic compound. It will block the pathway for all the process that will occur. And so let's say this particular cell might be having a role in secretion of some enzymes, or maybe saliva secretion. Okay, so throughout the body a movement can occur, because in the blood only urea will be there, which is entering through the liver. Okay, so liver is where urea formation will occur. It will enter the blood, okay, and then it will go to the kidney. But if kidneys itself are not working, urea will remain in the blood, and now through the blood urea can reach the different tissues, and wherever it is reaching, it will get deposited there, and it can damage the surrounding tissue. So it is very important that one removes their urea content from the body. Okay, so that is when both the kidneys are not working, and that process we call as a dialysis process. Okay, so this is the normal condition that they have given, so not so important, so you can just have a look at that. Okay. Yes, so removal of nitrogenous waste from the body. So micturition is expelling of urine due to the relaxation of sphincter muscle. Yes, so this is basically urination. Yes. Okay, so any doubts that you have from this chapter? So this was just the mind mapping that I had added. Okay. So we are done with this. Okay, so any doubts that you have, you can ask. So this is about the water balance in the body, like how much is getting lost through drinking, how much we are gaining. So you can just have a look at this one. So you need not remember this table. Okay, so this is just for your information, how much water is being collected or how much water is being removed. And there are millions and millions of nephrons that are there in each kidney. So one kidney is having a million nephron, the other kidney is having a million nephron. So all these unwanted materials which is there, or excess of nitrogenous waste, what is it, so that can be removed through this nephron itself. So all the millions of these nephrons are going to filter out the blood, that is the artery, the renal artery, when it comes to the kidney. Okay, so let me just say it here. So renal artery is coming to this kidney. Okay, and here this you can see that here in this cortex region there is a arrangement of PCT and DCT that will be done. Okay, along with the Bowman's capsule, and here in this part the renal pyramid what is being formed. So here this is mainly the collecting duct, and then Henle's loop will be there. So medulla region can have a collecting duct and Henle's loop. So like this, millions of nephrons are arranged in the cortex as well as the medulla region. Now this renal artery which is coming to the kidney, so this has to divide, so this has to branch million times, so that each and every nephron is getting a afferent arteriole. So this is dividing million times. Okay, so this is dividing million times, so that each and every nephron, that is Bowman's capsule, receives this particular afferent arteriole. So you can just imagine that how many times the branching and rebranching of this particular renal artery is occurring. So there is always branching and rebranching that keeps on occurring in the kidney, that is with respect to the number of nephrons that are present here. Okay, all right, so I hope no doubts. Okay, so no doubt. All right, so I'll end the session. So before that, so let me just say about this. So now you can win 100% scholarship while preparing for your exam day. Okay, so that is from 9th to 12th of April, that is 5 p.m. onwards, you will have your mock test for class 10. So those who are writing your exams in April end, so you are having your exam starting from April 25th, I guess, right? So April 25th or 24th, when is your exam starting? So basically you can take up the mock test. Okay, so practice for your mock test. You can enroll, so you will find the link in the description. Note, biology test is on like it is not the 5 p.m. onwards. Biology test you have at 2 p.m. Okay, so you can take up that test. So now gladiators batch, so this is a new batch we are starting from tomorrow, 6th of April. So all these subjects will be covered. I'll be explaining a biology, so rest of the educators will be explaining their subject. Okay, so you can have access to these batches, so only with the subscription, because these are not free classes, these are the subscribed classes. You can use the referral code VANIYT to get the 10% discount. So 10% discount you will get on the subscription, so you can use this code. Okay, so if you are subscribing for class 10, you will be getting ICSE, that is class 11 and 12 subscription also free here. Okay, so this is a ongoing batch itself, that is here mainly I am discussing like about in this batch, that is champions batch. It is till the April end, so mainly I am discussing about the diagram based question, then diagrams, then the give reason type, name the following, then the give technical term, choose the odd one. So all the different types of questions for your exam I am discussing from all the publication, like Goyle, then Oswald is there together with this. So you can take up this session also, so you can take a subscription for 1 month as well. So this is gonna start from tomorrow again. Okay, so mainly I'll be starting the questions answer discussion in this batch. Okay, so again, if you are planning to take the subscription for any of these batches, so here the mode of delivery is English. In both of these, the mode of delivery is English. Okay, so if you are planning to take the subscription, you can use the referral code VANIYT to get the 10% discount. Okay, so introducing community, so never miss on any update from your favorite educator. So get session notes and practice material there as well. So share your feedback directly with the educators via polls. Okay, so check out the link to the educator community below, so you can find this in the description box. Okay, so you can check the community link of mine, so that is for ICSE class 10 as well as for class 9, it will be there, so you can check it out and join the community. So now this one is a Bucks Bounty opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video. Be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description. Okay, so now how you can watch my special classes? All you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app, and then you can open the app on click on get started, enter your mobile number and OTP, enter your email ID, then you can select the class 6 to 12, then you can select the ICSE category class 9 or 10, 11, 12 also. Okay, then you can choose the preferred language like English, Hindi or English. Go to the description, again you will find a special class link there. Click on the link, click on notify me, so you will get notified about the classes 10 minutes before itself. And also you can use the same code VANIYT to unlock many of the free products that are there on Unacademy. So it might ask you a code, so use this code to unlock the free products that are available. Okay, so thank you one and all. So next class I am keeping on no problem, so you can watch the recording. Okay, anyway, hi Manas. Okay, so next class I think on 7th I am discussing all the questions, that is name the following. Okay, so name the following from all the chapters that I am coming up with. Okay, so you can attend that session also. You can just click on this bell icon of that class. Okay, so that you will get notified whenever I start the class. So I'll be discussing name the following from excretory system, circulatory system, then the endocrine system, nervous system, sense organ, everything. Okay, so also subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy, ICSE and ISE boards. Like and share the video and download the Unacademy Learner app. The PDF, if you want, I can send it on my Telegram channel, so you can search Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 on Telegram. So do you want the PDF of today's session? So if so, I'll anyway send it. So do you want me to conduct a mind map on different chapters again, like on circulatory system? If so, do let me know. Okay, so on circulatory system, endocrine system, and one more is nervous system and sense organ, I can do that. So if you are willing for me to go with that, I can conduct. Okay, so do let me know. Anyway, next class I have already assigned, so that is on name the following. Okay, all right then, so see you all in the next session. Okay, bye bye everyone, take care, thank you so much.